All money has to be in motion. Think about what you've been taught to do. You've been taught to go out and trade hours for dollars and work for money. And then what do? You give up control of that money and you put it in someone else's bank. So what we're going to talk about is the 10 rules to prosperity. Let me show you. Rule number 1, money must be in motion. Now, you may or may not understand what that means, but it sort of looks like that. All money has to be in motion. Think about what you've been taught to do. You've been taught to go out and trade hours for dollars and work for money. And then what do? You give up control of that money and you put it in someone else's bank. And that money sits there. It's not in motion, or is it? Because what business in the world actually uses compound interest? The answer is none. Because the only people that have been taught to leave our money sitting still is us. While the banks, what do? They take the money that we deposit and they move it. They lend it out to the neighbor for the house that he's buying, to the other neighbor for a car, to somebody else for a home remodel, to a debt consolidation loan. You see, the money is always in motion. You're the only one that's been taught to violate the rules of prosperity by giving up control of your money and leaving it sit. So how do we move our money? Well, it's very simple. We mimic what the bank does. We find ways to make our money constantly be in motion, because if our money's in motion, we can weather just about any economic recession, any economic depression. If the money is constantly moving in and out of different loans, different things, maybe you do investments. But see, here the problem is we've been taught to put our money in investments and leave them sit for a long period of time. But what happens when an economic recession happens, like 2008 or the COVID recession or even the Great Depression? Our money bottoms out. And then it has to work twice as hard just to get back where it was, and then we feel good after that. So let's go on to rule number 2. Rule number 2, your money has to be working even when it's sitting. So how do you do that? Well, it's called uninterrupted compound interest, because to move our money, we have to have a place to put it where it can actually earn interest, whether or not it's sitting there or in use. Think of this. Imagine if you had money and you deposited that money, but then all of a sudden you needed that $100, so you take that money out. What happens in your environment that you put your money in? It stops earning interest, right? Once you deposit it, it starts earning interest. Then after you take it out, it stops. Because that's how the world works. Or is it? No. You see, the wealthy understand that their money can actually be put somewhere where it earns dividends and interest, and then it can be taken out and it does not interrupt the flow of interest. Think of it this way. If this is an airplane, we always want an airplane with a tailwind, right? We want to fly in an environment where we have a perpetual tailwind. Because if the plane has a headwind, that slows the plane down. So we don't want this. We want a tailwind. Well, in money, that tailwind is compound interest, but it has to be uninterrupted compound interest. Rule number 3. This is an easy one. You need to be in control of your money. You need to stop giving up control to other people, and you need to take back that control so that it's in your possession, so that you're a good steward of your money, and so that you actually do have the ability to move it instead of putting it in a 401k, an IRA, putting it in someone else's bank where you think you're in control, but you're not. They're in control. Take back control of your money. And if you want to learn more about how to actually do this, watch the other videos in this YouTube channel. So just click the subscribe button, and I got all sorts of videos on how you can take back control. Today, I'm just explaining what the rules of prosperity are, and you more than likely are violating them. I mean, think about it. Warren Buffett, one of the best investors of all times, says this. He says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until the day you die. How can you make your money while you sleep if somebody else is in control? You're thinking, oh, I'm going to invest it. Yeah, until the market bottoms out. You need to learn this, because this of all the rules is single-handedly the one that you are violating. Rule number 4, you got to start treating your money the same as you treat the bank's money. So let me explain this. To treat your money the same as you treat the bank's money, let's just pretend that you want to buy a car. Okay? You're going to go out and you're going to buy one of those brand new overpriced sports cars. Okay? Ignore the picture. And when you do that, you have a couple different ways you can do this. You can pay cash. Okay? And why would you pay cash? Because if you paid cash for that car, money that you saved up, one of the best things about that is you own the car and you have no monthly payments, right? That's what you think, but that is probably the worst way you can buy a car because you just gave up the earning potential of whatever that car cost. For today's sake, let's say that that car cost $25,000. You no longer have 25 grand. You have a depreciating car that will never be worth $25,000 again. Or you could finance the car or lease the car. And in that, you would be trading monthly payments for the car to the bank. You'd be giving up some amount, let's just call it $500 a month, every single month would be going to someone else's bank. And you would then have the right to drive the car, and after 5 years in the financing, you would own a very depreciated car that you paid way more money for. Same thing with leasing, but in leasing, you do the same thing, but you just give the car back. So how do we treat our money the same as you treat the bank's money? Simple. First and foremost, you would save up enough money to pay cash for the car. Oh, but Chris, you just said that's the worst way. But hold on. I haven't finished yet. You would then pay cash for the car, okay? The $25,000, you would pay cash for it. But then what you would do is you would treat your money the same as you treat the bank's money. Now, didn't we already agree that if you were to have financed this car, you would have paid $500 a month to somebody else's bank? Well, let's just change the name on the bank to your bank. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a bill pay for the same exact $500 that you would have given to someone else's bank. And we're going to take that $500, we're going to put it back into your bank. So what is your bank? Again, you're going to have to subscribe to this YouTube channel, click the alerts button, and just watch some of the videos about how you can be your own banker. But see how simple this is? You are okay giving up $500 to someone else's bank every month for the right to drive the car. And in that, who makes all the money? Someone else's bank. Because this $500 includes interest and principal. So if you just change that and you capitalize your bank, okay, you save enough money in your bank to pay cash for the car, then you take that monthly payment that you would have given to somebody else's bank and you put it back into your bank, what happens? Well, you get all the money back for all the cars you ever buy, drive, and own because you changed the dynamic of how you treat your money. That's rule number 4. You need to pay yourself with interest. Let's look at how a bank operates. So what do? You deposit your money in the bank and the bank pays you an interest rate. Oh, or maybe they don't now. And then what does the bank do? The bank moves that money, rule number 1, and they charge a higher interest rate. They charge a spread. And they continue to keep taking your deposits and moving that money because the money goes out and then it comes back in monthly payments. See, rules 1 through 4 explain this. And that's what happens. It keeps moving. Okay? The money keeps moving. But in all of these different motions of what a bank does, the bank is making a spread. If we were to add up 4 minus 7, 4 minus 8, 4 minus 9, 4 minus 12, the bank made 20% on every one of these transactions. Because the bank charged interest, did they not? The bank paid you interest, or maybe they didn't, and they charged interest on moving your money, which you can do the exact same thing. And in doing that, they made roughly 20%, which is 500% more than what you make. You have to start doing what the bank does. You have to start paying yourself back with interest. So if you're paying Visa every single month $100 and you pay Visa off, Game's not over. Take the $100 you used to give to Visa and change the name on the check to your name and pay yourself back, because now the amount, the $100 you used to give to Visa, let's just say that was 20% interest, you're now paying yourself back $100, the same amount you gave to Visa, and that $100 includes interest. You just changed who gets the interest because you paid yourself back with interest. Rule number 5. Rule number 6, and this one's my favorite. It's called recycle and recapture all the money you're giving away. Now, we've been building up through this through rules 1 through 5, but now we're really going to talk about the motion of how this works. Remember, your money has to be in motion, and we want to be the bank. So this is your bank. And what we're going to do is we're going to capitalize our bank the same way you capitalize their bank with every deposit you give away control of. And then what we're going to do is we're then going to buy the things that we want. Now, let's use credit cards. We already started with Visa, and we already went through that example in the last rule. If you're paying Visa $100 a month, and Visa is charging you 20% interest on that, you're just making minimum payments. So what you would do is save up enough money over here. Let's just call it $5,000, just for all intents and purposes. We're going to pretend that you owe Visa $5,000 balance. What we're going to do is we're going to take the $5,000 that we've saved and capitalized our bank with. We're going to move it out, and we're going to pay off Visa. Visa is now paid off. We no longer owe Visa $100 a month. We no longer owe Visa 20% interest anymore. They're gone. But now the most important thing, and this is the part that none of you have been taught and all of you violate, which is rule number 6, is you got to recycle and recapture that money. So here's how it would work. You would take the $100 that you used to give away to Visa. That doesn't change your cash flow, doesn't affect your life. You're already giving that money away. And you're going to change the name on that check, and you're just going to take that money, $100 a month, and you're going to put that money back into your bank. If you did this with all the things you buy, credit cards, cars, your cell phones, your home remodels, your exercise equipment, I'm just making things up, but you pay somebody else for all of these things on a monthly basis because that's what we've been conditioned to do. Give up control of our money. It's time to put yourself back in control of your money, and then as you pay all of these back, or pay these balances off, let's just say each one of these has a balance. As we get rid of these, we are going to take the same dollars that we used to give away, $50 a month, $200 a month, maybe your car is $500 a month, and we're going to just constantly just keep changing the name on the check. And we are going to recycle and recapture all the money you give away. This is your fastest way to wealth. Rule number 6 will make you wealthier faster than anything else because it's taking back the money you've been giving away. Rule number 7. This is a tough one. Building wealth takes time. There, I said it, finally. It is not a sprint. Everybody's in a rush to build wealth, and that's why more people don't have wealth. Because more people are living in financial slavery. We can call it poor, we can call it middle class, whatever you want to call it. The wealthy understood that it takes time to build wealth. And you have to be consistent and persistent, but if you are in a rush, if you've got that FOMO thing going on, oh my God, I'm missing out. I want to make money, I want to become wealthy. I gotta make my money, I gotta make it now. You're going to be the next poor person because your money's going to come and it's going to leave you. Because that is the best way to lose your wealth, is be in a rush. Life is a marathon. Always has been. It's not a sprint. Those that sprint through life, they forget to stop and actually live. And they don't smell the roses. Building wealth is the same thing. It's a marathon. I don't know any wealthy individuals, any multimillionaires and billionaires that have got there overnight. Maybe they win the lottery, but what's statistics on winning the lottery? You're broke in the next couple of years because you haven't been taught how wealth works. And you certainly wouldn't have been taught the 10 rules to prosperity like I'm teaching you. Take a step back. Don't be in a rush. Don't think you're missing out on something. Just follow these simple rules and wealth will come, but it will take time. This is our cat, lazy cash. Rule number 8 is you don't want your money to be lazy like our cat. Your money has to be in motion. Go back to rule number 1. It can't be lazy sitting on the couch. Think of this. If you've got equity in your house, is that equity doing anything for you? No, the money is literally sitting lazy on your couch, eating your potato chips, drinking your soda, while watching your TV. And what are you doing? Oh, you're out there hustling, you're working, you're doing all the stuff you got to do. Your money's being lazy because you're allowing it to be lazy. And you're allowing all of your money to be lazy because your money isn't working for you. You are working for it. This needs to change. You need to start doing what the wealthy do and making your money work for you instead of you always having to go out and hustle and bustle and working so that you work your whole life and your money never had to get off the couch. It's a shame. Change that. Rule number 8. Stop letting your money be lazy. Rule number 9. You have to live under your means. This is so hard. You want things. You go out, you work hard, you think you deserve things. And you do. But you know what? Buy things you can afford. Live under your means. Every wealthy person ever has done this, which has given them extra money to then put in motion, to then be in control, to then go out and work for them. But if you spend every dollar you make because you think you deserve something, then you're never going to be wealthy. And there we go, on the financial hamster wheel. Create a budget, figure out what your expenses are, figure out what your income is, budget it out, figure out whether you're over or under, and then live under that. And stop keeping up with the Joneses. Believe me, when the markets crash and everything falls apart, they're going to be looking to you for advice because you were the one that was conservatively living under your means. We are at rule number 10. It's very simple. Be your own bank. Be wary of putting your money in using somebody else's bank because that will certainly erode your wealth. It will take you out of control. It will allow the bank to make, as you saw, 400 to 1,300% more than you do. You need to be the bank. You need to treat your money the same as you treat the bank's money. You need to go from rule 1 through rule 10. And if you follow all these rules, you are on the path to wealth. Welcome to the journey in being your own bank. See you next time. If you liked this video, check out that one because you know what? I've got lots more videos like this on my YouTube channel, so subscribe to this channel and also don't ever forget, smash that alerts button. Ooh, I scared you a little, didn't I? We'll see you on the next one.